Hello and welcome to the Soul Stripping Spa. I am so excited today. Like I am really like one of my favorite guys is just at the lounge. He can't wait to be with us. We have been talking and gisting, and I will tell you why I really like him. Like I almost wanted to write that out on my wall when I was talking about today's show and how excited I am about today's show, because I think that it's a privilege to know him, and I have known him for several years, and he has been consistent and he's been doing this. But before we invite him and bring him on board, I'd just like to welcome everybody that has tuned in already. Thank you so much for showing up today at the Soul Stripping Spa show. Last week was interesting. We had a conversation with a gentleman called Oluwaseun Shobo. He is the founder of the Voice Over in Academy. Yes, Voice Over Academy in Lagos, and I know that they're doing some beautiful things also in the United States. Shobo took us through the personal branding journey. We had a good conversation. We spoke about millennials, spoke about entrepreneurship, and then also had a conversation about personal branding. If you did not tune in last week, it's okay. I know that all of us have busy schedules, so you can watch the recording that we reserved for you. So after this, just check the show, yeah, last week's show, and be here. And the next week is also going to be superb. But I will not reveal my guest yet because my guest today is here. But I'll just like to know where we're all tuning in from so that I can welcome us. I also need to know how your day has been. How has your day been? It depends on where you're streaming in from, what part of the world you are, and how you were really going through this pandemic. I have two things that I've been saying actually. So just in case you want to steal those lines, it's okay. So the first is anybody who is attempting to stress me, I just say to the person, you know what? I am single in a pandemic. Have mercy. Like I'm very fragile. Like I am legit fragile. Just have mercy. Just take it easy. Yeah, singles in this pandemic are supposed to be pampered, are supposed to be dotted on, are supposed to just be treated, just fragile, handled with care. Yeah. So I've been receiving all the love. Good people have been sending me smoothies, peppered snails, all those fantastic things that I enjoy, just to ensure that my mental stability and emotional health is fine, actually. And this has been going on well. I still have some smoothie packs in my fridge that I am about to consume and all. So thank you so much for joining. I can see good people here already. We would not be wasting so much time because we love to keep the time at the Soul Stripping Spa. And just in case you're wondering why we are having or we will keep having the Soul Stripping Spa session, it is a platform that will help you increase your personal and professional influence. So I will be inviting professionals every Friday to discuss their stories, just not their achievements. Because it's very easy to say, oh, I am the first, I am the premier, I am the first African, I am this, I am that. I don't know the metrics that people use actually, and all of those things. Those things are good. But let us understand the story, let's understand the pain, let's understand what you have gone through. Let people be able to see you as a human being, not just a professional. Because one thing I like is we are real, we're raw, and we're vulnerable. And that's the emotional signature at the Soul Stripping Spa. So I see Ebon talking to me here. Thank you so much, Ebon, for tuning in. Please, if you are hanging out with us at the Soul Stripping Spa this evening, welcome. Could you please let me know where you're streaming in from? Please let me know where you're watching and streaming in from. Could you just please use the chat and the comment section? Just let me know where you were watching and streaming in from. And I would be introducing my guest in about 3 minutes so that we can have it fantastic. And I want us to be able to get as much as possible from him because he is an institution. He is somebody I love, I respect. And I take pleasure in saying we fight, but beyond the fight is the love. So the love is the foundation, the fight is the icing on the cake. It just reminds you that you're two different people, and at every point in time, you're always trying to understand each other and to also see. Yeah. So Habib is saying hello. Hi, Habib. I see Tony from Ayobo, Lagos. Thank you, guys. So the other people, other awesome professionals and entrepreneurs tuning in, please invite all of your friends. Oh, somebody's from Quara. Thank you. Please invite your friends, intending couples, everybody that you know, send them this link and say, tune in now, tune in now. Something is about to happen at the marriage section, something is about to happen, at the family life section. And we're having this gentleman here for free. So if you were to have a conversation with him, it will cost you some good things, like virtue will leave your bank account. So if this is going on at this time, you should grab it. So please tell everybody, if you do not have a writing pad yet, it's a fantastic time to get your writing pad together. If you also do not have a pen, what you want to document, Vivian, welcome. So let's go. Where are the people hanging out with us tonight? I also have a question. Then I will go ahead and introduce my guest. Question is, how are you really doing? That's my tagline, actually. Not just how are you doing, but how are you really doing? So please talk to me. What's going on in your life? Just in one word, how are you really doing? Name the emotion. Just name the emotion, name how you feel. Let's have this conversation. How are you really doing? How are you really doing? Let's talk. Let's go. How are you really doing? So who's talking to me? Please use the chat room. How are you really doing? Let's talk. How are you really doing? What's going on in your personal life? Are you handling this pandemic in your business, at home? What is the emotional signature? What's happening at that level? How are you really doing? I'm waiting to read the comments, please. All my good people, let's go, let's go, let's go, so that we can invite our guests. If you're watching from anywhere in the world, once again, you're welcome. It is the Soul Stripping Spa Show, and my name, I'm sure you know it, but yeah, Wayne Consola Labi, the founder of Emotion City. My question is, how are you really doing? Oh, Abimbola lying cash says he's happy. Fumi is here, prompt and energetic. Tony says, oh, not fine today. I lost a dear one. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about how you feel. My desire is that you will receive as much help as you can, and this will this will be easier for you, and it would this will just be easy on you. This will just be easy on you. So I am so sorry, Tony, that this happened to you, but I know that somewhere along the line, help is here, help is available, and this will end. Permit me to just say end in praise. So I am so sorry. I feel like giving you a hug, and I'll just give you an e-hug to just say that I'm sorry. Yes. Any other person? Let's take two more feedback and I will introduce my guest. Thank you. Two more feedback. How are you really doing? How are you really doing? What's going on from your end? Please share this with your friends. Remember to hit the subscription button also. Let's have this movement. I have a fantastic guest for next week also, but I will not say anything about the person yet. Let's create a movement around this where we're introduced and we're inviting and interviewing professionals who can help us increase our greatness, increase our personal and professional influence. So please invite your friends. We're about to get into that section where all of us will be taking notes and listening and learning. You know, yes, about to word should be here, couples and parents should be here, all your friends should be here, and everyone should please go ahead and subscribe. So let me tell you about my guest, and I would invite him in just 60 seconds. Yes. So my guest is the founder, principal of the Family Life. Let me start by saying of Fowowe Institute. He's known and recognized as the premier trainer and a researcher of the family life industry and in the family life space. And Chris is someone that I have known for 17 years. Part of his story is that I knew him when he had five shirts, five beautiful shirts, I must say, five shirts, and he used to wear them Monday to Friday. We met at a place where we used to see every day, because of different things that we're doing together at that time, and all that. And then I remember how he transited to begin to research and study what and who people call prostitutes in Ajegule, how he was revamping and reinventing and re-engineering their existence. And I remember also actually helping him sell some of his books. I remember one on sex that I used to take to my speaking engagements. I remember when we also used to have something I will call It is the Thank God It's Friday experience at his office every Friday. Would buy something to eat together, and that. And I have studied praise for 17 years, and I can categorically tell you that he is just not somebody who teaches, he's somebody who lives and abides by what he says. That's some level of mental and professional integrity there. So he's not teaching what he read, he's teaching his life. And I see that on a regular basis. So today we'll be talking about family life and we'll be talking about marriage, and I'll be asking him questions. If you have any questions, kindly forward your questions to the comment section also, and I would be very glad to read them out. So welcome with me, the founder of Fowowe Institute. Interestingly, when I saw Praise this evening here, I just noticed that Praise now has six packs and abs. I need to drop that. Like, I looked at Praise, and Praise is beginning to look like a model, a runway model. Now I am getting confused because no, Praise. We cannot be listening and learning to you and we admire or your body. I don't like the way you want to blend both. It's becoming distracting. Like I have to say, Praise, did I just see abs? And he's kind of vain. I must say that. You have to see the way he was just smiling and sipping water. He said, yeah, I've been working out. And I was like, okay, so what else have you been doing that I'm not aware as your friend? So no, just taking small days, just let me just welcome my vain friend. He will yap me, but just pretend he's here.
So I don't know what to do to you. Let me just be nice. You know how we talk off because this is before the work. So let's keep that aside. At the end of the show, by 10 o'clock, you and I will have our meeting. Maybe we have to we'll continue today. So let me just
Praise, what's the meaning of this? It's just 1-0. Praise, this score is just 1-0. Just chill. So welcome to the Soul Stripping Inspire Show. My guest today is Praise Fowowe. Thank you so much, Praise, for creating your time. You know the irony, I didn't invite Praise, or I slammed it on him. I just remember that I sent him the flyer and said, you are on next week. And it is not an invite.
Bully, ED.
Because I know Praise, and by the time you say Praise, are you available? That's when you'll be hearing it. I want to go and do meditation. That's the time I meditate. So I just thought, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to give him any time to even think. Like, Praise, next week, Friday, and thank God nobody's going out. So you're welcome. Praise, we want to talk about family life and marriage.
Okay.
And beyond the questions that I have at the back of my mind, I want you to please talk about the family life, like the state of affairs, the state of the nation in Nigeria. So, like when we're talking about family and marriage, state of the nation. So, if you were to drop a research report on family life in Nigeria and marriage in Nigeria, what would you say, please?
Okay. Thank you very much, Onyekon. Thank you everyone who has joined us. Onyekon is my friend. We say a lot of naughty things, behind of the so let me just tell you guys all the details of our gist. Basically, I would say that our nation is a reflection of the family, basically, because one of the biggest problems in Nigeria is the lack of systems, lack of infrastructure. We are a nation of big men without big systems. So the systems depend on the emotion of men, from religious houses to corporate organizations. You realize that consistently the organization is built on the emotions of men, right? And that's how we run our family. So many of us grew up to meet our father who slapped us, beat us for what we didn't even understand. We didn't know the offense, but we're beaten. There was no point in time we sat down to agree that if you do this, this was the punishment or the discipline for the offense. There was no meeting, right? But you just knew that you receive all kinds of punishment that you did not understand, So if you check our nation, that's the way our nation is. So even though our generation will brag that we were a disciplined generation, but I say that we were complicated basically. So if you check the average family, it's not run based on systems. So at the last time I checked, a typical family, if you ask husband and wife to write down their family vision, they're going to write different things because they are right. So even though they meant well for their family, they are heading in different direction. So critical questions that human beings should have answered, like why do you want to get married? Why did I get married? Human beings have, I mean, 9 out of 10 clients across 17 years don't understand that question, right? So
Mm.
consistently, you realize that a lot of people come together and their culture is not together. So there is culture and beliefs incompatibility. So there is the way people think, and consistently I'm seeing a trend where a lot of women are getting married to men who at best should have been mentees, and a lot of men are getting married to men who should have been mentees, not lovers. So what you add is what we say is marriage is the coming together of a man and a woman from two different countries, wherein the country is the family that produced you, right? So that they can create a new family that will promote the best interest of all and whose culture will give our world rest. So which means you want to check what are you coming with, what am I coming with? Because consistently, so what happens is someone gets married who is from a family that is a first world family, get married to a guy from a third world family. So the family conditioning that they've been subjected to is going to clash. So it's like a German getting married to a Malian. The first problem will be language. So communication will not be effective and their worldview. So if that will generate domestic violence or all kinds of violence, which is the problem we're having. So if we do not begin to create a systems-based family where we begin to ask the right questions. So a lot of people of faith, for example, they will say things like, do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Now, their definition of unbelievers is maybe Muslim Christian, not knowing that an unbeliever is someone who doesn't believe what you believe. So if I, for example, as a lady, if I believe that everyone should cook, and you as a man, you don't believe that everyone should cook, you are non-believer to me. You may find women who are believers to you, but I am not a believer of what you believe, right? So we should not even get married, right? Or if I believe that everybody should go to work and earn an honest living, and you don't believe that, you are non-believer to me, right?
Mhm.
You may find other people believe what you believe. You need to find them. So which is why people have had all kinds of things. So you hear all kinds of differences between most men and women. A woman is emotional, a man is logical. So when you meet a logical woman, an emotional man is a problem for many people. So consistently, all kinds of errors have been internalized over time that people have taken in hook, line, and sinker and they've run with. So opposite
Mm.
attract, creating all kinds of problems for people in their marriages, right? When they should have attracted their kind or look for their tribe and get
Mm.
married to people who think and believe what they believe. So they are looking for opposites. Eventually, a guy who wants a talkative, who is a talkative, marries a quiet lady. The lady hates someone who talks. Eventually, they can't even communicate in their home. So we are seeing
Mm.
pockets of problems based on all kinds of teaching. Unfortunately, many of these teachings were perpetuated from the pulpit, by a lot of leaders across board who taught culture, who taught research that was relevant many years ago that is no longer relevant. So it has created all kinds of problems. So you find that our family is not built on systems, it's not
Mm.
built on equality. The moment a human being looks at another human being and thinks that is superior simply because he has penis, a lot of problems will erupt. So somebody's esteem is going to be shattered. The children are going to come up and their esteem is going to be compromised as well. And the moment your esteem is already compromised, all kinds of evil works will begin to happen. So when you see our leaders, they are dealing with insecurity and low self-esteem. They love people
Mm.
praise them. They can't stand people challenge them. You get back to their family, you realize that their wives cannot challenge them. How can a
Mm.
man marry a woman and he doesn't think the lady we should have a contrary opinion? A lady who went to school, who got a degree. You still believe that she must believe everything you believe, right? And you think your humanity is questioned simply because she has a contrary belief. So that's someone who should not even get into marriage in the first place. So you find them in politics, and it's an offshoot of the way they were raised. So what I believe, and that's why we say that the most important nation on earth is your family, because your family is the production factor of the society. That if we begin to get it right and we begin to build a system-based family that is driven by science, driven by data, then we will begin to create first world belief system or a developed structure from the family. Once the family system is developed, then the children that will probably go into the society will have a developed mentality wherein a boy doesn't think is superior to a girl, right? They see themselves as collaborators and they work together, to build a world that is full of peace and happiness and bliss, where everyone supports everyone to become the best version of themselves. Yeah, that's where I say.
Thank you so much. I feel like saying, Praise, please take some water.
I have my water here.
This revelation you just dropped, even me, I need, I need you to take a chill pill while the humans who are watching are also trying to, scribble down. I love that. And one thing that I like about the work that you do and the impact you have made is the fact that it is very groundbreaking and deep. It is based on research, it is not motivational speaking. So let's look at still on family and marriages. If there are some major things that couples watching us today that you think they can start doing. So some of them have made foundational errors. They probably married unbelievers, as described based on your description. What do they think that they should be doing now? Where will they go? So let me give you some examples. So for example, if there's a lady who says to me or who says to us that, oh, my husband is cheating and all of that, but both of us love each other, but he cheats. Or my husband drinks, all of those things that some people do. If they are going through that in their marriage presently and they still love each other, but these behavioral dispositions are still there, where do they go from here?
Okay, that's why we say don't go for native intelligent people. That's why you have Emotion City. That's why you have, Family Center. You need to find someone who is credible, can work with you. And I
Mm,
need to say this with a sense of humility. A lot of Nigerians have not mastered how to run sessions or how to go for sessions. They want a
mm,
microwave solution. And that's
mhm,
why, if you want someone like me to work with you, if you are not ready to spend 2 months with your sessions, I'm not even going to start,
mhm.
because people come for 2 sessions and they disappear, right? And you
Yeah.
don't see them anymore until the
Yeah.
problem now comes again. It's not weakness to go for a session. It's like
Yeah.
when you have headache, you go and see your doctor. The same
Mhm,
way you have therapists, you need to learn to see them. I mean, if you could solve your problem by yourself, you would have resolved it. That you
mm,
are still having issues is proof that you need an external help. And why a lot of
mhm,
people never get help is because also during wedding, you hear advice like a third party should not be allowed in a wedding. It's one of the most ridiculous statements that people make during wedding, right? A third party should be involved, but a credible third and
mm,
sensible third party, because you
mm,
cannot deliver your wife when she gets pregnant. A doctor is a third party, right?
mhm,
Your business partners are third parties. When you run
mhm,
out of cash, the friend you ask for money is a third party. Is the
mm,
credibility of the third party we should be talking about, not that a third party should not get into your marriage, right? And
mhm,
you don't want to also go and visit people who are subjective, who just look at you. They've not run any test, no
mm,
psychometry, no diagnostics. They just look at you and they say, this is what the Holy Book says. This is what that says. People are just being messed up, right? Because
mm,
we don't recognize the pain people go through. So I'm going to recommend that you see a therapist, or you see someone
mm,
who can work with you professionally. And please,
mm,
before you get anybody to work with you, can you ask the person, what certification do you have and what
mm,
kind of tools are you going to work with? Right?
mm,
Because you don't want people to play trial and error with your life, and you have
mhm,
so many of them everywhere with so many big titles, with so many, I'm the most impactful, I am the most, this and that,
mm,
self-appointed number one in their field, and all those kind of people. You don't want your life, because let me tell you, therapy is not cheap,
mhm,
right? Or you see, ignorance is more expensive.
mm,
So some marital cases are like cancer; they are cancerous already. So
mm,
the effort it would take. I mean, there are people I'm working with for 1 year, right?
mhm,
It's not cheap, but the result is amazing. So
Mm,
when you have people, places like Emotion City that you can go to, you have
mm,
credible people, please maximize them. But the basic
mm,
thing you first need to do is what I call a crisis meeting, right? Can you do a crisis meeting? We call it open day. The crisis
mm,
meeting is a day where you ask the question, if there is anything you don't like about me and you want me to change, what will that be? The rules
mm,
of engagement during your open day is number one, nobody must be angry. Number
mm,
two, nobody must be defensive. Number
mm,
three, you must use the language that comes to you. Anyhow it comes to you, you must say it the way it comes to you. Number four, whatever is said must not be used against the person who has said it, right? So you need to listen to your spouse and what they have to say to you, because a lot of spouses cannot communicate truth to their spouses. And trust me, if you guys, which is why I say that the missing link in many relationships today is friendship, right? Once friendship is
mm.
missing, you will be editing what you want to say. Onyinko is my friend. If I want to say to her, you are stupid, I will say to her, you are stupid. I'm not editing it. If she likes, let her get angry. We'll resolve it. We have had a lot of crises and clashes. Onyinko and I,
You
and
had
we,
a lot of open days.
oh yeah, and we say it the way it is. We can say, praise you. You are stupid. That's how she
Like,
says it.
are you for real?
That's what friends say to themselves, right? Initially, I may not agree, but after a while, I'll think about it. I say, okay, when you come, you are correct. Okay, I'm sorry. And we move on, right? That is the way it should be. The moment your spouse begins to do sign of the cross or begins to commit your heart into God's hand, God, as I want to talk to my husband now, love is already dead. It's already dead. Your relation is in a comatose, right? Where you have now become an oracle. You are no longer a lover. The only thing that is left is for them to get palm oil and begin to bow down and anoint your leg because you're an oracle and bring sacrifice to you, right? And that's why friendship must be built in a relationship. If friendship is built, and I'll give you an example. My first open day was crazy. My wife looked at me and she said to me, "You irritate me." Honestly, I irritate you, right? But the rules of engagement, I have to respect it. So I asked, "Why do I irritate you?" She said, "I was always rushing my food and my cutlery was making noise." Honestly, I did not know I was rushing my food. It was the moment she said it that it dawned on me that I was coming from a family of seven. I was number six, right? And somehow I had grown accustomed to people coming to join me to finish my food in place of rice and meat. So the survival strategy as a child was to quickly rush my food and finish it. I've become unconsciously competent at rushing my food that even when the enemies had disappeared, I was still having invisible enemies and I was rushing my food. And that was irritating my wife. So I had to make a conscious effort to change, right? So when I hear people say, "This is me, you need to accept me the way I am," that is not who you are. That is the you that have been engineered, that you've been conditioned. This is not you, right?
Mhm.
If you were born in Germany, your name would have been different. So don't sit down and say this is the best me that God has created. That's not God did not create you. Your parents they engineered this you that you are seeing. So don't ally against God and say God made you the way you are. You need to check and pay attention. Whatever contradicts the peace or disturbs the peace of your spouse, you need to learn to listen. And so, if you're cheating, for example, you need to get help, because that can be sabotaging your best interest. And we don't have to absolutely blame you because it could have been a blast from your past or some of the things you have not overcome, right? I believe you can overcome it, but please get credible people to work with you, credible professionals who have a track record of assisting people. I think that should help you, and your open day should do justice to many of the things you want to resolve.
Thank you so much. If you have questions, kindly put up the questions. But I have another one. So, praise for singles. Interestingly, they have, yes, so they are about to start on a clean slate. What do you suggest to them?
If you are single, please find yourself. If you can't ask yourself out, don't ask anybody else. If you go for window shopping and you see yourself being displayed on the show glass, if you can't buy yourself, don't go and anybody or to ask anybody else. The best you have is you. Marriage is the coming together of two people. And please find your kind, having built yourself, right?
Mm,
Your soulmate may not be in Nigeria. So expand your tentacles. Don't be stuck with Nigerian men when you have upgraded yourself to become a first world woman, right? There are men in Nigeria who are first world. Some of them are not in Nigeria. Don't be afraid to marry a Japanese. Don't be afraid to marry a British, a Canadian, right? Open up your heart, because what I see is a lot of women are developing themselves, but they are shopping for a spouse within the environment that doesn't have respect for womanhood. So you still have a lot of men who believe that the wife must cook every day. They still believe that the wife must clean the house and all those kind of. Now, some of you have outgrown that, right? And you see, many of the theories that have been built that is perpetuated on pulpit is built on poverty. So when you hear things like a woman that cannot cook should not eat, the question I ask is, if at the point of marriage, the two of you are single, your wife, I mean, the lady is worth $1 billion, you are worth $1 billion as well. What are you going to be discussing about? Are you going to be talking about who should cook? Or you're going to hire the best of chefs? So many of the things people teach is premised on poverty. It was built in the era that people are not poor. I mean, people are not rich, right? And so you need to build yourself and find your kind. And that's why friendship is very, very key. Fish from the pool of friendship. And don't compromise the things you cannot do without. It's very important. Don't think that you're going to change him because people don't change. I say to people, as a rule of the thumb, if you cannot accept him based on his current reality, then no deal, right? But the moment you can accept him based on the current reality, that's fine, right? So invest in knowledge, because there are critical things you need to do. In fact, one of the things I recommend for singles is a document we call, a tool we call user's manual. Create your user's manual yourself. Your user's manual is a comprehensive, states everything about you. It talks about what you like, what you don't like, how you get angry, what you don't get angry about, how you recover from anger. Because the moment you show your spouse and he looks at it, he can easily say, this is not the woman I'm looking out for. Some men cannot stand your greatness as a woman. And anyone that is not that cannot stand your greatness is not worthy of you, right? You don't want to get in marriage and begin to pray and commit the act of the man into God and enter war room. You know, we overrate this war room. People have died inside that war room. We don't talk about that, you know. So take it slow and get to know and open up your heart to attract people from all over the world. You must be ready to marry a white man. You must be ready to marry a Spaniard, a Japanese, a Chinese. Someone like Onyeko now, I have a Chinese for her.
I am very willing, Chinchochu.
You know, but basically you need to be open up. I mean, open your heart, because a lot of us are close-minded. You're looking for a Nigerian. It doesn't have to be a Nigerian, but basically, you know, find yourself, right? And once you find yourself, marry your kind. Don't look for opposites. When you marry your kind, decisions will be easy. You'll be able to do a whole lot of things. You'll be able to speak out the way you want to say, right? Not that you begin to edit what you want to say. How does it, you know, it's very stressful when you want to talk to your spouse and you need to, how does he like to hear it? It's very, very stressful, very, very stressful, right? And that is what, you know, unfortunately begins to recondition people to become who they are not. Just marry someone that if you open your mouth like this, you understand, right? Understand that this is a friend talking to me. You know, there's no ego, there is no pretense, there is no superiority, all this macho. I mean, it doesn't exist. So please find your friend, marry your friend, and enjoy your life. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm just having mercy on everybody listening. I hope that they are keeping up well. I remember the first day, one of my friends, yes, Abibola Olayinka, apparently she was at a conference where you were, and then she sent me a message. She said, oh, there was this gentleman who spoke, and I kept hearing your voice. And I was like, I was the me or somebody spoke, and you were hearing my voice. Like what? You know, and she was like, no, that she just kept on saying, this is Oyinkan's male version. This is Oyinkan's male version. So I was like, oh, what's the person's name? She said, Praise for. I was like, can you see? She was like, do we know? I was like, oh yeah, that would be French for 7 years. She said, hey. That she was just like that. There's something about him that reminds her of Oyinkan. I'm like, that's, I hope Praise this scatter the entire place, because that is Praise's.
They should go and ask Nitel to retrieve our call history. They will tell you how many hours we spent talking on phone many years ago when there was no mobile phone.
So I hope everybody's learning. Okay, I am thinking we should talk about parenting.
Okay.
Because I also know that you have done a tremendous job in that space where you have defined what it is to be a parent, and what it is to also raise and erase children. So, could you please have a conversation with us in that direction? What exactly is parenting?
Okay. Parenting is another grossly misconstrued concept in Africa.
Hmm.
Simply because, again, we don't give ourselves to knowledge and we don't embrace what works.
Hmm.
I always ask every African parent that if Mark Zuckerberg were born in your house, will Facebook emerge? Or if
Hmm.
Bill Gates were to be born into your family, will Microsoft emerge? Of
Hmm.
course, the answer is no. He would have become a drum set or a drums player or an usher or something. Very funny, right? So, which means the destiny of the child can be terminated in the hand of a parent. Because in
Hmm.
the parenting quadrant, you have the seed owner, which is God, you have the seed, which is the child, you are the seed handler, then you have the seed environment. The most important key is the seed handler.
Hmm.
Now, the word parenting is the word bring forth. So, which means a parent is that scout that can effectively identify the identity of the arrow in its quiver and groom that arrow and shoot in the direction of a predetermined target in a way that the arrow solves the problem it was meant to solve in service to God and humanity. So, which means your job is being a scout, and to be a scout, which means you must observe. Unfortunately, the capacity to
Hmm.
observe has been taken away from us. In fact, an average Nigerian does not have what it takes to observe. So I ask people, when was the last time you went and tried to observe the moon and try to count the stars? People don't do many of these mundane things. Meanwhile, these are observational exercises that can sharpen your ability to see things. I see a lot of things and I'm wondering how come people can't see these things. You and I we
Hmm.
discuss a lot, and we're wondering how come people can't see what we can see, right? It's
Hmm.
because their capacity to see has been stripped away from them. So when a
Hmm.
child begins to exhibit expected behavior, we classify it as bad behavior because
Hmm.
the same way we were raised is the same way we are raising children. Our
Hmm.
parents beat us, then we are beating our children because we can solve the behavioral problem. Meanwhile, it has been proven scientifically based on data now that beating does not solve the behavioral problem. If beating can solve behavioral problem, criminals would have changed by beating. But we know criminals
Hmm.
don't change by beating. But we also pretend, so if beating can actually work, every time you misbehave, why are you not beating yourself? Why are you not
Hmm.
slapping yourself? Why are you not
Hmm.
slapping your husband for his misbehavior? Why is your husband not beating you for misbehavior? So when your
Hmm.
husband beats you, you call it domestic violence. When you beat a
Hmm.
child, you call it home training, right? It's because we do not understand the difference between punishment and discipline. The word
Hmm.
discipline is the word discipliner, which is the word that means to groom, right? Is the word that means to raise, right? Which means it starts with modeling and instruction. There is nothing within the scope of discipline that comes with cane. I know many people are listening to me and they're going to quote the scripture that says the rod of correction. Now, the Bible did not specify that that rod is koboko. It did not specify that it's belt or slap. The rod of correction to a people who have been through slavery is koboko. The rod of correction to a people who have never been through slavery is instruction, communication, negotiation. These are rod of correction. I can say to you, Onyekonsola, if I wanted to move you from where you are sitting right now, say,
Hmm.
sweetheart, you are the best babe in my life. I love you, but I was just wondering where you are sitting. I don't think that is befitting of my queen. Please,
Hmm.
sweetheart, I hope you don't mind if you stand from there and come and sit on your throne.
Hmm.
Naturally, you will stand up and sit. But I can
Hmm.
also say to you, can you get up now? And so many of us talk, we do not communicate. The most
Hmm.
important skill in parenting is observation. Number two is interpretation. Now, if you can't observe and you can't interpret accurately, you're going to damage a child. That is what we are doing. So when we say to ourselves, when we teach some of these things, they say you want to Americanize, and I say everything on your prayer list that you are trusting God to afford is made by
Hmm.
children from America, right? So if your culture is so powerful, right, and your culture is the main culture, what has been the report card of your culture based on the global scheme of things? But
Hmm.
your culture cannot feature outside of dancing and entertainment, right? And entertainment globally is nothing but side attraction. Entertainment cannot produce science, cannot produce invention, cannot produce any innovation. It cannot fly a helicopter. It cannot fly anything, right? It's not science. It's not technology, right? So we need to accept that there is something wrong with the way we were raised. The opportunity cost of the discipline to us was our low self-esteem was compromised, which is why we can't share knowledge, right? When we have a trade secret, I mean, we have some people that we, I mean, let me not say what I want to say because it can be misconstrued. Let me swallow it, right? You still see some adults who are in their 50s, 60s, still battling with low self-esteem. They are still hustling, they are still struggling, simply because they can't afford for the people that look up to them to fully express themselves. This is what domestication has caused, right? So if you are a parent listening to me, the first thing you need to do, can you heal from your own pain, right? Can you heal? Can you take a session on emotional intelligence and find healing first? Because once you find healing, you realize that your capacity to shout will be totally taken away from you, right? You don't have to shout on a child to communicate to that child, right? That if you speak to the Obama inside the child, Obama will respond to you. If you speak to the Osama in him, the Osama will respond to you. Unfortunately, for every crisis we see in Africa, we are quick to run to religious space when you can actually run to therapists who can accurately look at what is happening. Interpretation is key. Many of you are listening to me today. If you enter the room of your girl child at 2 a.m. and you see her sleeping with her two legs to the wall, what are you going to do? How will you interpret that behavior? You will almost conclude that she has joined witches and she has gone for meeting. Where did you get that information from? Because when you were growing up, you watched Kotoaye, Kotoorun, Abigail. Those were the things you watched. So that makes your thinking and your
Praise, why are you attacking us?
to interpret accurately, right? Because in those movies, Oyinbo will put her leg against the wall and she has gone to meeting. So to you, everybody who puts their leg on the wall has gone for meeting. You could have tried to find out, is this a new way of sleeping? Is this sleeping better than the normal sleep we have been sleeping? But you will not fact find, we just slam things. So please, don't experiment with the potential of your child. Check the potential of your child and create the environment that can best develop his potential. If that potential environment is not in Nigeria, don't hesitate to leave Nigeria, right? Because even the Lord Jesus Christ, when his life was under threat, his parents relocated to Africa because he would have been killed and nothing would have happened. So you need to check the potential of your child. And I mean, I was reading about Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he made a statement. He said, by the time he began to research at 16, he realized that anybody who wants to become great in life, that they needed to move to a country that allows people to dream. So he said he had to leave South Africa and go to Canada, then go to America, because that's the place where his dream can find expression. Of course, you can see Tesla Motors, you can see SpaceX right now, you can see PayPal, right? So you are God is the seed owner, you are the seed handler, your child is the seed, environment is key. Spot the potential in your child, accept your child, and create an ideal environment where his potential can find expression. Please do not raise your child as a retirement benefit. Raise your child to become the best version of himself and release him. You are not the owner, you are a custodian, you are a steward. And stewards will always release the child at the end of the day. So please plan your own retirement plan outside of your child. Whatever your child brings must be honored. Your child, you must not grow and you are saying, you have not sent my allowance this month. That will not be your portion. So please plan your retirement. I hope this helps.
Praise, well done. But Praise, when you started saying Kotoaye, Kotoorun, I felt Praise is a handful. Like I have to Praise is a handful. I'm sure that everybody is learning. If you have questions, please remember to use the chat box. Just drop your questions there as we plan to round up. Just drop your questions if you have any question for Praise. So Praise, let's talk about thriving in a pandemic. So you're one of the people that I'm aware is thriving, and you know, because I have placed demands on your account with your officers, and I see that virtue is visiting you daily. What are we supposed to be doing? What are we supposed to be doing at this particular time, especially for intellectuals, professionals who sell information products, trainers, speakers, coaches. What do you think we should be doing at this time, please?
I think the first thing you need to do is to understand that there are opportunities this season.
Mm,
The best opportunity in this season is for you to scale your trade beyond the shores of Nigeria.
mm,
This is the best because now everybody across the globe is online.
mhm,
So you need to be able to, I mean, it's a full test of what people have talked about. So if you have called yourself the most impactful, let us see if your
mm,
products can scale the shores of your country.
mhm,
This is where originality will pay. But
mm,
beyond that, there are skills and tools now available that you can use to scale. So,
mhm,
for example, Nico and I were having a chat yesterday, and she was telling me some of the things she's doing. I was telling her some of the things I'm doing.
mm,
It's not a time to hoard information. The new
mhm.
competition is collaboration,
Yeah.
right? If she succeed, I succeed. If I succeed, she succeed. That's the way it
Mm,
must be, right? We must not fall into the trap of the geo syndrome that people who have
mm,
gone ahead of us deployed, which did not help them, which did not build our industry, right? So you need to reach out and ask people to assess you accurately and for them to tell you, oh, you are not doing. You need friends in your life who can tell you the truth, this period,
mm,
right? Then upscale your skill. But beyond that, there is something I teach, which is the law of attraction. Law of attraction is can you determine where you want to play, right? And
mm,
believe in yourself. And I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I used to, run around every invitation and I'll go and speak. At the end of the month, by the time I calculate how much I have made, less than 100,000. But I've been busy. People think I was a big boy. I was a small boy earning nothing. So I
mm,
had to go and meet one of my mentors, and he said to me, he said, Praise, you need to separate those that need you from those that want you. And I
mm,
said, what does that mean? He said, place a premium on your time and your knowledge, right?
mm,
And so I said, what does that mean? He said, how much do you want to earn? I told him. So he said, develop a document and clearly state how much you want to earn because many of us from the faith-based arena, we have a mental barrier that stops us from making money because we go around with because you function in church doesn't make you a pastor. So you
mm,
go freely have you received, freely have you received, freely you give. There is nothing like that. Even
mm,
pastors are not receiving freely, they're not giving freely, right? So don't fall for anything like that. So what I mean, the moment I went back home, I placed that document and I told him people will be upset if I begin to give them a document to say this is what I charge. And he said to me,
mm,
Praise, what do you want? Right? So you need to separate your interest from your commitment. Are you interested in earning or you are committed? There's a
mm,
difference, right? If you are committed, you will not mind what people have to say. So he said to me, separate. When you go to school and you send your children to school, the school owner is not going to say, Praise is doing a fantastic work and waive your school fees.
mhm,
If the school owner is not ashamed to charge you for school fees, why are you ashamed to charge people for your knowledge? So he said to me, I'm telling you, majority of the people inviting you will stop inviting you, but the people that need you will invite you. So that
mm,
month I tried it. All hell went loose, especially churches. Oh, Praise is now a businessman. Praise is now collecting money. How can he be charging churches? He's not placing a price on God's gift. Blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, they stopped inviting me. But guess what? I got 2 invitations that month, and each of them paid me 100,000. So with 2 invitations, I had 100,000. With 8 invitations the previous month, I had less than 100,000. So I began to develop the confidence to charge. Now you can play in the lower cadre, you can play in the middle class, you can be a premium business or a business professional. Now to be a
mm,
premium, you need to understand the language of premium, right? You need to
mm,
understand the persona of premium. You need to understand the behavior of premium. So if you are sent to low class, you need to understand that if you want to serve premium, there's a way to talk, there's a way to write, there's a way to position yourself, right? So you need to understand some of this. And please, if you are not doing well, don't be ashamed to go and volunteer for someone who is doing well because
mm.
the moment they see you around that person, people will naturally assume that you are good and the person can begin to position you. So it's important for us to understand these things. So my advice for you will be How much do you want to earn this period? In what currency do you want to earn? Now, the moment you arrive at that, create your structure in a way and put everything in place. If you want to earn in dollars, your PayPal must be ready. If you want to earn in Naira, your pay stack must be ready. Set up your system online and show up every day. Sell what you can do. Tell people what you can do. But within your closet, you need to deploy the laws of attraction by deploying I am wealthy. I earn in dollars. You need to do that mantra every day and see yourself, feel it, enjoy it, embrace it. You will be shocked within a month. You will begin to see signs that these things work, right? But please, in case you don't even understand yourself, go for mentoring. Go and register with you like Onyekon to show you how. Don't be ashamed. If you are not making anything, please open up. Many of us will lie too much. You are not making anything, but you are wearing suits up and down. You are showing that you are saying you are earning seven figures, 7 digits, and all those kind of. Please, it is not a time. You will be found out eventually. You will be found out. So don't lie to yourself and don't join the fake it to make it gang. There is nothing like fake it to make it, right? It will make you suffer big time, right? So please go for what works. Go for people who are earning well and ask them, what are you doing, so that they can mentor you. I think that is the easiest way to operate this period. But you need to change your skill level and upscale your skill and be able to do a lot of things online.
Thank you so much, Praise. Thank you. Like today has just been awesome. I actually feel like saying, let's pass the offering basket around. But no, what I'm going to do is, that meal that I promised you, you're having it tomorrow. That
Hey!
Hey, they are delivering it. The same executive that delivered the previous one is
But let
delivering.
me say this, Onyekon. Let me say this, Onyekon. If you
Okay.
are listening to this for free, one of the things you can do is to give to Onyekon. Honestly, she bullied me to be here. And that's the truth. My knowledge is not free. But Onyekon can bully me. She has earned that right in my life to bully me, to go and put my poster up without my knowledge. Right? She has earned, everything will be adjusted. So please don't take for granted that this is coming to you for free. Whatever you can give to her, please do it. It's part of what we call honor. And I'm not soliciting, not asking for it. I think it's part of what Nigerians must learn to do. You must honor people who bring knowledge to you for free. We could have placed a price tag on this and people will still have attended. So please, don't let us wait till people die before we now begin to say he was a good man. He was a good. No, no, no. We must honor our people when they are still alive.
Thank you so much. So I will start by doing that. I already promised to. So you will have that tomorrow. The final question would be, if there's something that you need to tell, let me see now. If there's something that you need to tell an intellectual who wants to be an institution like you, what will the statement be? So somebody who wants to get your level of depth, not just somebody who says, "Oh, hug me and transfer grace," not that kind of magic.
Grace go back
Human.
bang, Grace.
I trust you. Humans who desire to create an institution and be an institution. I remember I've always looked at it, because we've done so many things together at the product level, and it is a lot of work. And you said to me yesterday that, that you have been showing up on YouTube daily and you intend to do that for 1 year. And it is
Yeah.
a lot of work. And when I tell people who are in my tribe, the level of work we are committed to. Sometimes they just think that, all you need to do is show up and money will show up. And I'm like, people show up daily on YouTube for 365 days. I have a friend who showed up on his Facebook group also for an entire year, all through 2019. He was always there, and I know how much he makes now, and all of that. And it wasn't just showing up anyhow, he was showing up with incredible content. So if there's one thing that an intellectual would take away from this conversation, what would that be, please?
Well, you have said it. There is no other way. I would refer to the boys called the Korodu boys. I read a
Yeah.
statement many years ago. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Right? The Korodu boys were showing up consistently. They didn't wait for perfection. In their imperfection, they were showing up till they showed up and they got invited to Hollywood. The same way, there is no shortcut to success. Professionals do daily what amateurs do occasionally. I read that in a book many years ago, and I've said it to myself every day. Cristiano Ronaldo, if he decides to go and sit down and not train every day, he will be very fat and he will not be able to run. So there is no other way. Show up, and you need to show up consistently. You need to understand that increase response to use. If you are hoarding your knowledge, you are not going anywhere. You need to release it. The more you release it, the more is added to you, right? So you need to show up consistently. If you have chosen a time for yourself every day, show up every day. If it's every week, show up every week and build a tribe. Now there's a flow chart to becoming an institution. I can't share that here, but please start by showing up. And once you begin to inspire people, right, help them grow. When you help people become better, you multiply your success. But if you are the type who wants to be G over their life and you hoard your information, you will remain very small and nobody will defer to you, right? The secret to life is helping more people succeed. The more people you help succeed, the more your own success is multiplied. I hope that helps you.
Thank you so much, Praise. Thank you so much. I have learned a lot. As usual, you're one of the people who speak and I listen publicly, privately. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I am so proud of who you have become. And
Thank
I'm
you.
especially proud because at this particular time, you should put me on an allowance, like a monthly allowance. You know
Yes,
me.
my sugar mommy. Correct.
I should be on a monthly allowance by now.
See
Like
the way she's saying it with a straight face. Hot
I should
coffee.
be on,
Mama,
I should,
hot coffee.
I should be on an allowance by
Yes,
now. Like, and I thought I should
absolutely.
just say it,
You are
like
correct. You are correct.
a
You are correct.
palliative or whatever it is, what to keep body and soul together, knowing fully well that my mental health has to be intact and
You
in
are
check.
correct.
But thank you so much. Let's release you to rest because I know you do a lot of things.
Thank you.
I
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I know you do a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope you were well. Like I don't even know what to say again. Praise is one of my favorite men, and it is actually a privilege to be his friend. Like we have gone through a lot together, and he's somebody that I talk to almost every day. Because we're always exchanging knowledge, exchanging wisdom. I hope this has been worth your time, and please share this with everybody. Please share this with your friends, share this with your partners, share this with intending couples. Everybody just share this link with them and just say, please visit this. And as they do, please remember to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, that's the least you can do for us. Next week will be extremely awesome. Please pay attention to who my guest is next week. He's an industry leader. He's in the entertainment space. He's an artist. He's actually an artist. And I want to talk about entertainment and how entertainers can be attached to fame, which, if they're not careful, can lead to some level of pride, a lot of things, and there may be depression, all of those things. So he's an entertainer. He's somebody that I have a fantastic relationship, work relationship with, but I would not preempt myself. I think that I would introduce him probably tomorrow on Sunday on my handles, which is at Emotions Doctor. So if you're not following me on at Emotions Doctor yet, please do so. Please also visit our website, emotionscity.com. Thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to Inwomi, Mrs. FFO. Thank you to Abimbola Lainka, everybody who showed up tonight. Thank you so much. I will see you next week at the Soul Stripping Special, where it is our responsibility to help you increase your personal and professional influence. Thank you.